Hello students, today we'll be looking at a few different figures of speech and how to use them to analyze a piece of literature. Alright, let's get started. So before we start to go over individual figures of speech, we need to first look at what a figure of speech is and what it does. So a figure of speech is a word or phrase used in a way that is a little bit different from the literal meaning. This is often done to add an underlying meaning or a theme to a passage. Alright, so on that note, the first figure of speech we'll be looking at is metaphor. This is one of the most important and commonly used figures of speech, so it is very important that you learn this one well. So metaphor is when a word or phrase is used to describe an object that it normally doesn't apply to. This is often done to make someone or something symbolic of a more abstract idea. As you can see on the slide, I included a quote from William Shakespeare to demonstrate this. The next one we'll be looking at is simile. So this is a figure of speech involving a comparison of two things using the word like or as. It is often used in literature to make descriptions or comparisons more vivid. The use of like or as in the comparison here is an important distinction between a simile and a metaphor, as they are both used to compare two things. So next we'll be looking at personification, which is when you apply human attributes and characteristics to non-human objects or things. This is often used in literature to evoke a more emotional response out of the reader to an object. Next we'll be looking at irony. This is when the author uses language to express a hidden meaning which normally communicates the opposite meaning of the desired effect. This is often used in literature to add humorous or empathetic effect to a passage. As you see in the quote, and will continue to see in the future, William Shakespeare is a master of irony. So the last figure of speech we'll be looking at closely is hyperbole. This is when the author uses extremely exaggerated terms to make grandiose depictions of everyday things. This is often used to indicate over-the-top exaggeration beyond what is normal. Here are a few more examples of commonly used figures of speech. These are used slightly less commonly than the ones we went over, but are still extremely important to know. So I would recommend going over them outside of class time. So now that we have gone over some of the most important figures of speech, I'd like everyone to click the link included on this slide and in the description of the video. This is an activity that will quiz you over your understanding of the different figures of speech. This can also be used outside of class to review for the test. So now that you've completed that, we are going to talk about how to analyze these figures of speech in context and extract meaning from them. So the first step to doing this is to read the piece you are analyzing closely and to take notes or annotate it. Be sure to look out for figures of speech while you are reading and annotating. After you have annotated and hopefully identified a few figures of speech, you need to determine how these figures of speech work together to further develop a theme or a message in the story. So you should now have the basic tools necessary to identify and analyze some of the most common figures of speech in text. I hope this proves useful with your understanding of the readings in the future. Good luck and have a good rest of your day.